Hello, 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 everyone. Hi, this is Chris Hampton, and welcome to Releasing the Champ I Am. This is the podcast where we're trying to release that champion that's on the inside of you. Did you know that you have champion potential all on the inside of you? We don't need anyone to come and rescue us. It's all on the inside of us. What we need is someone who has the ability to tap into it and help us to cultivate all the gifts, the talents, and the abilities that are on the inside of us. There's unlimited potential on the inside of you, and this is the environment that we're going to create that's going to help to release the champ I am. I'm excited, guys. This is the third episode that I've had in this new year coming for releasing the champ I am podcast. And again, this is something that's great, and I'm just excited to be able to share these concepts with you. We've been talking on this new year about the spirit of the upgrade, and we were sharing about in the last time about upgrading our circles, and I just wanted to really continue along that conversation with this message right now is the power is in your network, and we're talking right now about the importance of networking and building relationships amongst people that are going to help to take you to the next level. So before we go get started into talking about networking, let's really get a working definition of what networking is, right? So I had a definition that said networking is the practice of establishing and maintaining connections with other people, usually within a professional context. It involves building relationships with other professionals, exchanging information and resources, and helping each other to achieve professional goals or a common outcome. Okay, so that definition is a great definition. And when we talk about networking, usually in a business environment, most people have apprehension about it. They don't like it. They dread going to networking events. And what this session is going to be talking about is how to get over that. Because when you get the proper understanding of what networking is, you'll understand what it isn't. And it takes some of that shadow off of doing it and you actually become ready to enjoy networking. And that's something that I have come to love is being in environments of and connecting with people. So let's take a look at that environment. Again, it's that definition. It's a networking is the practice of establishing and maintaining connections with other people. One of the biggest issues that you do when you're starting out in your business or your entrepreneur or walking into your purpose is that it's you by yourself. But the vision that you have for your life, you realize that 9 times out of 10, the vision that you see yourself doing and going after is bigger than yourself. It's bigger than who you are. And it's done that way on purpose because it's going to take more than you to get the vision done. I'll say it again. It's going to take more than you to get the vision done, meaning that it's going to take people. It's going to have a relationship with people that are going to identify and see themselves in your vision, in your purpose, that are going to be able to come alongside you and help you. Okay. So if you're thinking that you're going to tackle this life all by yourself and you're just going to be an island unto yourself, you're destined to fail because somewhere on the line, you're going to have to trust people. And I like how that networking doesn't say it's the practice of getting more money. It's not the practice of getting people to connect with to give you wealth and to give you favor and to give you just give to you. No, networking is that practice of establishing and maintaining connections. So when you see that word connections, we're looking at relationships. So the very first thing when we're looking at networking is not to look at networking in the form of how we traditionally do it in a business environment. In a traditional business environment, here's what we do. We look at it as what's in it for me, what can you do for me? How can you make me better than where I'm at? So you're looking and you're trying to talk to people that are in these networking circles and these networking environments, and your main environment is not how can I connect and create a relationship. You're looking at it from the form of how can I connect and have a transaction. And the problem with a transactional relationship is once the transaction is complete, it's complete. It's a transaction. It's a one and done. But when you're looking at a relationship, you're looking at something that it's a giving on both sides. It's something that is meant to continue. It takes you to develop and to cultivate that relationship. Most relationships that are successful need to have attention to it. If you have a transactional mindset when it comes to your relationship, they're very short-lived relationships. You get yours, you're done, and it's like really has it helped you much for the future? Transactional mindsets are present tense and it's not ongoing. Okay, what I like about that definition is a couple of things. It's a lot of key buzzwords in there. It says networking is the practice. It's the practice. It starts with practicing. This is something that it doesn't happen overnight. It's not natural to everyone to get into these environments where you are exposing yourself to other environments and other people's backyards, as I call them. It's a practice. That means when you think about practice, practice is intentional. Practice is not something that just happens. When you're practicing something, it's intentional. So networking and getting into environments where you are trying to make connections with people is a practice. It's an intentional mindset. You're prepared to do that. So when I talk about when you're practicing for something, it means you're prepared to do you're preparing for the gameplay before you get into the game, right? So that's when we talk about the practice. Really, we can go into there and say, oh, what is it that I'm practicing? You're practicing your elevation pitch, your elevator pitch. I like it, the elevation pitch. I didn't mess up. I meant it, elevation pitch. But your elevation or your elevator pitch, that's where you're sharing in 30 seconds who you are, what you're meant to do, what you're trying to accomplish, and how you're going to connect with other people to help them and bring value to them. All right, that's something that's practiced before you get into the networking and environment. Okay, so that's what you're building on. That's where you find who you are, what you do, why you do it, where you can reach, and how you can help people. Right. So those are the things that you're going to cover in that elevation or elevator pitch. But that takes practice. That takes time. I think we might actually go into how to create that elevator pitch in another session, just so that you can do that. But it's something that takes forethought. Okay. The other part is the maintaining. Okay. It didn't say not only that you're establishing these relationships, but you're also maintaining these relationships. Maintaining means that you might have to call back and just see, hey, how are you doing? Just to shoot the breeze, just to say, hey, I just wanted to connect, make sure everything was good. I just wanted to come back and let you know we're still here. But it's maintaining. It's not just again the theory of the one and done. There's nothing in that definition that says that one and done transaction. It's all about what? Practicing, establishing, and maintaining the connection. So it's going to take some forethought. It's going to take some maintenance to do that because whenever you are dealing with people and you're dealing with relationships, it's going to take some maintenance, right? So all that requires forethought. And it says usually within the professional context, but it involves building relationships with other professionals. So what is this relationship that you're building this relationship on? You're building that relationship with the thought or the mindset of what? Helping each other, exchanging information and resources. So that's really a really good thing. Three things to look at. None of that said make me richer, make me more wealthier. It didn't show put more money in my pocket. It didn't say how can I make the next sale. It says you are what? You are helping each other. You're exchanging information and resources. Don't be shocked because I've gone into certain networking positions and found out just because I was like, how can I help make you better? Is the question that I ask, or in some form or fashion, how can my business help your business? All right. We already established that we're here to make a profit. We're here to make income. But a lot of times it's, again, what is your intention? My intention is how do I make you better? How can we grow together? You see, that talks about the type of relationship and how you look at these relationships. How you look at relationships as a whole will affect how you network. Okay. Are you a parasite or do you believe that you have a symbiotic relationship? What is a parasite? A parasite is the one that's always is leeching on to people, always taking but never giving. I've had people come to me and say, "Hey, Chris, can you do this for me? Can you do this for it? Can you do this for me? Can you do this for it?" Never asking, "Can they do something for me? Or can they help me? Can you do? Can you do? Can you do? Can you do?" That's a parasite. And what happens with a parasite is that they will drink you and suck from you and drunk you and take from you until you're all used up. And then once you're used up, what happens? They leave you and then they go on to the next body. That's not a healthy relationship. Okay. A symbiotic relationship is where we are connected and we both benefit from the relationship. I'm giving something to you, and then when I'm taking something from you, but I'm also giving something to you. And yeah, or is my relationship, is your relationship marriage wise? Is that a symbiotic relationship or a parasitic relationship? Is your personal relationships, are they symbiotic, meaning that you're getting and you're giving, or are they parasitic where they're so always taking? And that shows the mindset of when people network. When you have a parasitic relationship, you'll find that people are closed off to you because they don't trust you. Why? Because they know that you're in it for something other than making them better and helping them grow. Okay? They know, they can tell that it's a what's in it for me mindset. But when you come open and you come giving and you say, hey, you know, I might not even need your services, but how can I make you grow? I can always refer you and I can share information. Oh, I have a connection for you. Let me introduce you to such and such. So, me getting that information and opening up my resources to them, they're willing to be able to do the same to me. They may not be able to use my products and my services, but because they see the heart of the relationship that we have, they'll be willing to open some doors for you. Listen, here's a truth that I've learned in me building my brand is that there are some relationships or some doors that are meant to be opened by other people. There are some doors that no matter how hard you knock on that door, you're not going to get in there by yourself. And I know how relentless you are. It's blood, sweat, tears. You're knocking on there. You're shucking on the door, trying to get into this door, trying to get into this relationship, trying to get in on your own merits and efforts. But it's so much easier when the person who has influence opens that door for you, and they're able to say, "Hey, this guy is solid," and they'll open that door, and all you have to do is walk through it. But those are only accessed through networking and built through networking. So you're going to have, and networking just doesn't happen on its own. It's intentional. So we also said there's the helping one. How can I help grow you? How can I exchange information? Is there somebody I know or something that I know that I can connect with you on that we would be able to help grow your business? And vice versa. And then the exchanging of resources and information. There have been a lot of times that I have networked into myself into the next level. And when I networked into the next level, I was introduced to resources I didn't know about or have an understanding of until I reached that level. Okay. So there's resources that people can give you. That person may not buy a single thing from you, but if they can provide you with the right information and the right resources, they are more valuable than the one time transaction that you can get from the sale. So I want you to think bigger than that transaction. If I could say that 10 different ways by the time we're done here, I want you to get that. Get past the transaction and start building the relationship. Okay. Um, Here's the other thing about it. When you're thinking about networking, and we're talking about now, this is the year of the upgrade, and I want you to upgrade your network. Whenever you think of the word network, I also want you to think about influence. So when you're trying to network with people, what you're doing is you're working to build influence. You're stepping into someone else's sphere of influence. Okay. I remember when I first started speaking, And when I first started speaking in my backyard, nobody even knew who CHAMPIAM was. They didn't know what the organization was. They didn't see Chris Hampton as a speaker. I don't even think they saw that it was anything that was worth being there, because when I would talk to my friends or try to get on the stages locally, the doors were not opening. Okay, but it wasn't until I started to become an influencer in other people's backyards. I started to show up and network, and then I started to get invited on stages at the places that I was networking. And then when I would do that, I would shine so bright, because what was common where I was at was rare where I was going. I'll say that again. What people thought was common in my backyard, when I went to someone else's backyard, what was common to me was rare to them. And if it was rare to them, that meant it was valuable to them. So what I'm saying to you is, you need to go to places where it's rare, where you're not blending in with everybody else, where you stand out, stick out, and then you become a shining bright light in that backyard. And eventually what happens is, I started to shine so bright in other people's backyard that then my backyard began to notice. And then my influence in my backyard started to grow. But my backyard influence was the last sphere of influence to actually grow. And I think that that's something that is very important to understand while you're building your purpose and building your life for your purpose, is that if you're expecting all of your influence around you to accept you, they're not going to always accept you up front. So you go where you can be accepted. Go where you shine the brightest. And again, that's going to take you building that network to be able to do that. So when we think about the word network, I want you to think about the word influence. And what is influence? Influencing is not you persuading you don't have to persuade anybody when you're influencing them. You have a certain draw, a magnetism with your influence that you have. But when you're doing this, you're growing your sphere of influence by what? Networking in other people's backyard. So you're gonna have to do three things, and I'm gonna close this down. I'm gonna challenge you to do what? I'm gonna challenge you to upgrade your network or upgrade your sphere of influence. Okay? When you upgrade your sphere of influence, what you're doing is you're choosing right now, again, to get out of your background of your known and to step into the unknown, and start to shine in the unknown places. I want you to intentionally upgrade your sphere of influence. When you do that, again, you'll be surprised. You'll be exposing yourself to different thoughts, different ways of doing business than what you're used to in your sphere that you were used to doing, and different ways of handling your business and presenting yourself. All right. So think about it. If you're always doing the same thing, you're going to always what? Get the same result. I'm going to challenge you to do something different by choosing to network in a different circle. Network. If you're used to always going to the Friday night sales network at the local chamber of commerce, find another one. Go to meetup.com and go to the meetup groups, and find another group of affinity group that you can just visit and show. When I learned this when I was started to speak, I started to speak, and my Toastmaster ability group became normal, and my sphere of influence started to become normal there. So when I joined a group called the Emerging Speakers, then I went and I started to see things like the National Speakers Association. I started to network in different circles, and when I did that, I had this opportunities that came that I wouldn't have had if I just stayed into that regular old Toastmaster circle. Okay, so upgrade, and take your time to learn those circles. Don't feel like you have to jump from circle to circle. Take the time to build roots there, learn roots there, but don't get comfortable. Be able to move and upgrade that circle. Okay, so once you establish your circle, upgrade another circle. Once you're established in that circle, continue to upgrade your circles, because again, what you're doing is you're enlarging your sphere of relationship, your sphere of influence. Maintain your network. Different ways of maintaining your network is to again, Go through your because you're not doing transactions, you're building relationship. Follow up. Hey, if support support your networks. You might not want to buy what they have to do, but you can support them. If you find out that you're dealing with a business and friends that are in your network that are integral and their character of their business is strong, then don't feel free to maybe show them on your support them on your social network by sharing them with your audience. It's funny how I think I see a lot of people that are out there that want people to support them, but they're not supporting other people. So show what I encourage you to do is show the support that you want people to support you to other people. You be the example of how you want people to support you by how you support others. Okay, that's great. Let's shut it down right there. If you can do that, you're going to find out that more people are going to be quick to jump on your brand and support your brand because of the sincerity that you support their brand. Everybody wants support. And am I saying support everybody? I'm not saying support everybody because if they're not at the same level of your integrity and same level of character, remember this is the third part. You want to protect your network. So yeah, you're not supposed to connect with everybody just because they may have good intentions. Do they have good intentions? Do they have a good track record? How do they handle the customer service? So I'm not saying don't do your due diligence. Do the due diligence, yes. Because another thing is the reason why you want to protect your network is because if I introduce someone to a person of influence in my sphere of influence, right? And then the person that I do introduce to that person does them wrong, dirty, and they're not integral. They leave a bad taste and a bad mark. Who is the person that I introduced them to looking at, and whose credibility becomes shot because I introduced a bad link? So protect your network. It's very important to protect your network because you're protecting your reputation and the reputation of the people that you are connecting to. Okay, that's why it's due diligence, and you can't recommend people that you don't know. I can't tell you what to do, recommend a product and I haven't tasted that product. No, I can't do it. And I can't go off of your reference or your other people's testimonials. If I'm recommending somebody, I'm recommending them because they have proven to me through works and how they have served, and that they are a person of value, and that their product can be valued. Okay, that's very important. So we said you're going to upgrade your network, you're going to maintain your network, and you're going to protect your network. So we talked about why networking is important. Networking is important again because it's the only way that you're going to grow. One of the major ways, not the only way, but the major ways that you're going to grow your business is by growing your sphere of influence. You grow your sphere of influence by meeting and connecting with the right people. Okay. How do you network? Listen, you can network by just going to these events and going to events where people are where you want to go to. So when you're doing that, find networking events that are on the level that you choose to go to, that you want to go to. Don't be intimidated that they may not always fit in the room when you first start. Don't worry about fitting in. Sometimes just getting the information and being open to hear what's around you and hear how other people are talking and doing business. When you're at that event, your eyes, your ears, your mind is open. Your mouth is closed because you're listening and you're trying to gauge where you're at. It's a new place for you. So don't be afraid to be in the new place. Okay? Don't downgrade what you have done, even though you are going into an upgraded level. Don't downgrade your business trying to network on another level because the confidence is not there. They're not going to tap into you what you have to offer. Right? So be confident in who you are when you go there, even though it's a next level networking opportunity. How are you ever going to learn if you never take the step up to go to the next level? So always do that. And when you do that, it's going to expose you to so much more. Open up, learn, be able to be less, if you're Don't be quick to talk. We're talking about how we're networking. Don't be so quick to talk when you're doing that network. Spend time learning what people do. When you say, what do you do? And actually listen. I don't care if what they're selling is coffee. I don't drink coffee, right? So I'm dealing with someone who sells and distributes coffee. I'm asking them what they're doing. I am intentionally listening to what they do. Even though I might not drink coffee, I know of businesses that need coffee that are probably paying too much for their coffee. And if I introduce them to that person that's selling the coffee, that's quality coffee at a cheaper rate, I look good because I help fix a problem. Okay? And then when do you network? As much as possible. As much as possible. Be honest with you, the growth that I've seen over the past 6 years has been mainly to being able to increase and upgrade, intentionally upgrade my network. Okay. They say your network is your net worth. As not as kind of trendy, but it is true. Your network, you could have a very strong network, but you have it's who you have access to in your network. There are people that I can call right now that have bigger stages than I do, and they're willing to talk to me and teach me and show me the rope and give me advice and connect me to the right people. They're able to also tell me who to deal with and who not to deal with. Don't do this thing. Don't connect with that person. You're not ready for that yet, right? Why? Because you're going to get information and resources. So again, I hope that I challenge you to look at building the network in a different way and looking at networking in a different light and understanding the power is in your network. When you tap into these relationships, not transactions, but relationships, and you truly tap into that with the insight of how can we grow together, the power that comes from those relationships are going to increase. The level you'll be able to go farther and faster than you would by yourself because you have the right relationship. So again, welcome to another podcast with Releasing the Champ I Am. I'm Christopher Hampton. And again, I am committed to helping you to release that champ I am potential that's on the inside of you. And again, if you're going to grow your business, grow your purpose, you're going to have to expand. You're going to have to network and you're going to have to build those relationships and maintain and protect them. Thank you again. Again, I'm Chris Hampton from Champ I Am. You have a great day.